fluid level draining and checking for an Oliver 1600. This one's a diesel. A few different places. They use an oil bath air filter. So you just loosen up this clamp here until it be ready to catch the cup off the bottom. There'll be oil in there. It's supposed to be up to that level. It's supposed to say right on it, in warm weather, I think you're supposed to use 10 weight. Warmer weather, you're supposed to use 30 weight. Colder weather, use 10 weight. I generally just use a light hydraulic oil. Drain it out. There'll be dirt in the bottom. Clean it all out. It's an oil bath filter. Oil kind of gets sucked up into a metal mesh, and as it drains back down, it brings the dirt back with it. So that's why the dirt ends up in the cup. So I don't know, I think that takes around a quart. Engine oil fill. Engine oil drain. Pretty straightforward on that. I guess I'm not even going to say how much it holds because I just don't remember. I just fill them up until they say full on the stick. Just run them and double check. Hydropower drive. Those are pretty easy. Around here on the back side. Come on underneath. There's a drain plug right on the back. Hopefully I'm getting that there. But just take the drain plug out of that. Drain her out. Put the plug back in. Takes around 5 quarts to fill that up. And then there is a filter on the other side there. That's pretty straightforward. Spin it off, put a new one on. Rear end oil. There is right here above the foot brake housing. There is a filter. Same filter that goes on the hydropower. You'll want to change that. And you come underneath. And there's 2 drain plugs down here. That one and that one. This one will have a screen mesh on it. It's for the suction tube for the transmission lube pump. And then the third drain is around back. We'll go around there. It's in the lower right hand corner of the transmission. Take the little PTO unit right there. You could get a lot of oil out of there. If there's been water or hydraulic oil from the pump leaking down in there, it could be over full. I'd be ready to catch at least 15 gallons, although it's not supposed to have that much in it, but better to be prepared. When you're filling it back up, put all the plugs in. Here, right around the side, is your check plug. Fingers in the way. Right there. Just fill the transmission up till it starts coming out of that plug. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 gallons. PTO unit, the only way to drain that is to take the cover off the bottom. And there's just bolts around the perimeter. Drop that off. Get the oil out. Put a new gasket on, put the pan back on. And then there is a plug right here on the PTO unit. Fill it up until it's coming out of that. The fill hole is up here on the top. Right there. Then the hydraulic unit. The book says something about taking the plug out up here. That's really a pain in the butt. The simplest thing is if you got a hose, a hydraulic hose with a coupler on it, tip, disconnect it from a cylinder and plug it into a remote. Start the tractor up, pump the oil out into a bucket. When it starts pumping air, shut the tractor down. You've gotten out as much as you're going to get out. If you don't have a hose or anything around, you could always just separate the coupler from the hose right here before you start it up, and then put your hose in a bucket. Once again, start it up, hold the lever back, pump it into the bucket. When it runs out of oil, shut her down. Then your hydraulic filter is right here on a 1600, right in front of the PTO lever. Cast iron piece. Sometimes they can come out hard, so it might take a big crescent wrench or a pipe wrench, but it threads out lefty loosey, righty tighty. Filter's inside there. There's a spring that goes behind the filter. Spring goes towards the cap, holds pressure against the filter into this housing there. Spin that out. When you put it back together, put grease on the O-ring that goes on the housing there, and that'll keep it from spinning out so hard the next time you take it out. Hydraulic systems, right around 5 gallons on these. Easiest thing is to keep checking the dipstick. Radiator and engine, pretty straightforward on those. Don't remember the capacities, but usually there's a drain either in this lower elbow or on the bottom of the radiator, and then there should be one here on the block. Sometimes they're just capped off, but if you take that drain out, even if it is capped off, coolant's going to come out. You can get your coolant out and put fresh in. And I do believe that covers all the fluids for the 1600. You fill your hydraulic back up with the same hole that you check your oil in. Power steering's all off from the hydraulic unit, so there's nothing to check there. Unless you've got a Wheatland or something without hydraulics, then they would run a power steering pump up here off the engine. The reservoir would come up through the hood. That's pretty straightforward on checking and replacing. Hopefully this helps. Thanks.